Boom. And we are live. What up? What up? What up? It's your man Sean P coming in live. This is the Sean P Experience on YouTube. I know all of my guests. I say, man, we got a special guest in the building, but this is a very unique. This is gonna be a moving episode for me personally because this brother on my screen right here, my man Dr. G, Fred Beasley the second. I consider him a long time mentor and a guide in my life. I met the brother probably 16, 17 years ago in a way different lifetime, man. And so to finally have him on my show, talking about his children's book, Heru, The Happy Dragon, I am so honored. I'm pleased. I'm excited. And thankful for the brother to come on my show, man. Thank you very much, my brother.
Oh man, listen, bro. It's this is what we do. You know what I mean? My job is supporting creatives and just loving my brothers in all ways that's possible. You know what I'm saying? On some grown man type of time. So what we do when we do those type of things, you know, we extend ourselves, we share, we inhale, we exhale, we learn from each other. So to be on your show, for you to have a show, to see your growth and development, to know about your journey, you know what I'm saying? It's my honor, and it's a blessing for me to be on your show because for those who don't know, I can let them know that you are the real deal. You know what I mean? You are who you say you are. You've been where you say you've been, and you don't have to say it because I was taught when a man opens his mouth, you can see his mind. So, you know, this is what we're doing, bro. So it's a pleasure to be here, bro.
You cooking already, man. You cooking already. But I want the audience to see that. This is what I'm talking about. Every time we talk for years, it's always gems like that, man. For the family that don't know, do me a favor. Do me a favor. A lot of people that just met me in the past 5 years, 7 years, they see me as an author, they see me as a podcast host and a public intellectual and things of that nature, man, radio and everything. But tell the people about the Sean P you met 16, 17 years ago, man. Tell them about the young brother that came up to New York for a week and a half, whatever it was, man, and broke bread. Tell the family how that was.
Yeah. So basically, the Sean P they see now is just an evolved version of the Sean P that was then. You know, what struck me most about that Sean P was your curiosity. You know what I mean? Your your thirst, your thirst for knowledge, your thirst for, and then for that knowledge to be practical. You see, that's what makes that knowledge, transition into wisdom when it's practical. So a whole bunch of people can tell you a lot of things, but you actually came to see it firsthand. So that was impressed me. That impressed me, and then on top of that, you know what I mean. You introduced, you know what I mean. It was truly a family thing. You had your cousin do a song. Your cousin came up. It was, you understand what I'm saying? It was a family thing. It was more, but it was a family thing that was based on, you know, a thirst for knowledge in real time. So to me, you know what I mean, that stood out to me about you then. You know what I mean? I remember sharing information with you and just sharing experiences with you, and you know, and you taking those things in like a sponge, and you trying to apply the principles that could help you in your life. And I think that has helped you along your lines. But again, that comes from being around, you know, um, other leaders or visionaries so that you actually become one. So you've had the opportunity to be around a lot of great minds, and to experience a lot of things many people might not have the opportunity to do. But I think that when you do your podcast and you do your show, that is you know, having an opportunity to express yourself and share some of the things that you've gone through. So for the people, when they see me now, what they're seeing, what you're seeing is basically, the etheric thread. It's basically a bridge. You're seeing the bridge that's connecting. So that's how this brother's real on what he does on his quest. And again, ultimately it takes one to know one. But I'm here to talk about the book. You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to lay
And
that background story for the family, man, so they can realize
yeah,
how we even met. The very very well known the group, the bartenders, the fitness, calisthenics, self improvement, self empowerment group.
let's see,
I
yeah,
met.
see, yeah. I didn't even see. That's deep. So I didn't even really speak on that because I'm speaking about
I
the
know.
principle, and those
Yeah. Yes,
principles
sir. Yes, sir.
embody all of that.
Yes. Yes.
You see what
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
saying?
So this
Those
this is this
principles
is
embody.
via this for the audience. This is via how I met my brother Doc G, man. Watching as a fan at my house in Louisiana for months, watching the amazing videos. This is way before YouTube is what it is now. Way before it was monetized. Way before. This is way back, and I would just sit all night trying to study these videos and hearing a person like this man right here talking. Besides his physical movement, what he can physically do whenever he would talk in the camera, it really, really caught me and drew me. So when I had the opportunity to come out to New York and spend time in person in the flesh, and riding that van, going from place to place, and we just rapping, just talking, man, that was just one of the most transformative parts of my life as a young black man. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's heavy, man. And when I think back, I can remember. You performed at several schools with us, so you saw bartenders affect giant thinking effect in real time. You know what I mean? You went to schools in the Bronx, you went to schools in Brooklyn, you went to schools in Long Island, you was there, you was with the people.
Now, Doc, before we move on, I tell my
Yeah,
friends all the time when I go to a city, I want to see
yeah,
the real city. I want all that tourist stuff. I
right,
said, man, we was in the real Harlem, the real Brooklyn, the real
hundred percent,
the whatever. We was really really in there. You know what I'm saying?
hundred percent,
We ain't do no Statue of Liberty, all that. We was in there
100%, 100%. We was amongst the people, but see what
among the
happens
people.
is, and a lot of times people get confused. They forget that a lot of people from in New York, they have roots in the South, so we have more connecting. You know what I mean? Than people really realize. And I think that when we start to, stop with the regionalism and thinking that we can't connect with somebody because they're from this place, or you're from that place. I think that stunts our growth, or as they say, that that arrest our development. So the earth is my turf, Jack. That's how I move. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So
but Jay-Z say I'm comfortable, dog, Brooklyn to Rome. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
you,
comfortable.
you know
You know
what
what
I
I'm saying?
mean? Yeah,
Comfortable.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so
So
that's
my
it, man.
brother,
I think a lot of
tell,
times
tell
people
me,
short themselves, man.
tell me on your writing journey. Tell me about why Peru, the Happy Dragon. Tell me why the children book route. Tell me why the babies. Give me the why.
I think for me, the babies are always that's the best part, period. So I want to start with something. They say when you start with something, you plant the seed. So I wanted to go straight to the seeds. I was inspired to write the book by my children, and the lack of and me reading stories to them, and then recognizing the lack of certain stories that had principles that to me could really should impact them, because as reading these stories to your children, I started to realize how powerful these subplots, these ideas they have in these stories they have us reading. You really don't want your daughter to grow up to want to look like Barbie. You really don't want your son to grow up and try to be Superman. It's like it's a very deep psychological. It's tricky, and it's in the artwork. So not to get too heavy, but I wanted to do my part to react to that, or to be proactive to that. So essentially, Haruda Happy Dragon is a love poem to Black children. So it's Haru because Haru basically means hero. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. The original hero, right? So you
Pretty much.
choose Heru, a name rich in African heritage. Why was it important for you to connect children to the culture through this character? You could have chosen a lot of the African deities. Why did you choose uh, Heru?
So I went with Haru again, just because of the symbolism of the name, because of the principles of being swift as a falcon mentally. I made him into a dragon because the dragon symbolically represents um, us as a people, really. And people fear, what I mean, the mythological fear of the black man, the black family, and that dragon is like just that's why he's a happy dragon because we can't come with the same mentality of hate because you actually get eaten by your own hate for someone else. So I wanted to try to switch that vibration and come with a vibration of love. So that's why it's a happy dragon. You know what I mean? And that's ultimately what I what I hope for us to be, you know, individually and collectively. But you have to be happy with self because you're doing what? You're pursuing your goals. You have the ability to pivot. You know what I mean? You have the ability to take time out, step away, and look into self. So all these things are in this book. Self awareness, conflict resolution, growth and development, being able to reinvent yourself. Healthy eating is included, exercise is included, dance is included. All these things are part of this book, and I wanted it to make it. I made it like that because hopefully, when a child looks at the book, over time, the images will take root and they'll have different meaning as the child continues to grow.
Yes, sir. So the book came out in 2022, I see. And a lot of things have changed in the past few years. Administration, uh, they're trying to ban books from the schools. They're trying to remove the funds from the Department of Education and things like that. Tell me some of your interactions you might have had with like teachers or parents about these books and the importance of these books right now in the time where they're trying to suppress our voices.
I think ultimately, because there's so much information right now, we're in an information age. People they're oversaturated with information. So I say it to say, I think for each creative, it's important for them to find their individual niche audiences. So that when I say that, that means that no one can really suppress your voice unless you're trying to go their route. Because there are now so many different routes, you can still get your voice heard, but it's just depending on you finding your niche audience and really speaking to them and doubling down on that. So I don't really worry about somebody trying to censor what I'm doing. Um, I feel like again it's based on relationships. Because of my personal experience, I have different relationships with people in different school systems. So the book has had an opportunity to touch different people, and the feedback has been great. Some people say it should turn into a series. Um, but so I really don't worry too much. To come back to the question about people trying to censorship, there'll always be someone trying to censor reading, trying to censor something. And with that being said, my next book is going to be strictly pictures. I just want to have a book that again touches the subconscious of children. But I don't really worry about people trying to really ban books and stuff like that because I think it's all that to me that'll make the value of the book go even more. That's another thing. Even to me with AI, I think it's going to be a premium on real human stories that have real human principles that at least can't be copied until it's done at least one time. After that, maybe they can copy it, but the first time it's going to be an original.
And speaking of first times, man, over my years, about 10 years or so being an author, a lot of folks come to me to write books and to make books. And children books seem to be one of the main ones that folks come to me for. Tell me
Mm.
some of your challenges you face as a first time children book author. What were some challenges you probably came across, and how did you overcome those obstacles? Question.
My biggest challenge was just the my biggest challenge personally was perfectionism, trying to make the perfect book. Um, because I made that book during COVID, I had a lot of time to sit with it. So that was pretty much my biggest challenge, just overcoming, self criticism. Then the second thing for me was, the art of the book. That also pushed me to now I'm teaching myself how to draw because I want to have my own image. I want to control my own images. But the artist I work with, and I did something that most people don't do. I found out later was her name is on the book as well. So I found out that most people, because I went through a company called Fiverr. So technically, when you go through Fiverr, you pay somebody for a service. They're like a contract for hire. You own the work. I didn't have to put a name on the book. Well, I put a name on the book because she did that work, and I paid her. But
And
I
I
say
want
that
to,
to say, in my next book, I want to control it from the rooter to the tutor. I got to. So another thing with Haru, I didn't put it on Amazon. I'm going right, B2C. But you see, the images is nice. Everything came out. It came out pretty good. I think next time I might want to do glossy paper all the way through. But it came out pretty good, and everybody who sees it, I get a great response.
yeah. You mentioned the illustration part. Most time when I sit down with a person about a children's book, the actual
Mm.
content, that's like nothing, but the illustration part and the difficulty in that always seems to be the biggest block in the road, you know? So tell me what it was like communicating with her as far as what you seeing in your mind versus like making it come to life, man. These are very, very good images. I really, really like what I'm seeing in this book.
I appreciate that. So basically, what I did was I sketched out every page. So with the Fiverr app, what I would do, I would sketch out every page, and then I would take a picture and send it back on this. It's like a third party app. So she would have a picture of what I would sketch out, and then she would send back her interpretation, and then we would go back and forth. Maybe like sometimes it took like 5 times. Sometimes she nailed it off top. But usually we would have to tweak something. So that again led to, for me personally, a little bit of frustration because some things get lost in the translation. But as a creative, that's my job to bring what I see in my mind to light. And that's something like my grandma used to always say: you can't charge somebody with your vision because they don't have your eyes. So I had to be like, damn, that's crazy. So for me, that was one of my biggest obstacles. So that's caused me to take again a couple steps back and really focus on the drawing aspect. Again, I'm betting on myself. I'm betting on humanity. That even though it's going to be all these great AI apps that can do drawing, that human art is going to be something that is going to be a premium value. And I'm betting that the images I'm creating for my next book and beyond, are going to be something that's going to be pretty valuable in the future. So Haru was just the beginning of a trilogy, bro. Um, and then that's the other thing, man. Just the next big thing is marketing, getting it to the people, having the marketing budget, being smart about that marketing. So, on my first trip, I did a lot of things. I basically went hand to hand with a lot of the different sales. Then I collaborated with different bookstores in different states. But even, that sometimes that gets tricky because I still have to order the books from the distributor to send to the place. And sometimes they want the book on consignment. So it's like, it's a waiting game. So it's interesting. These are all of the intricacies that you learn in the business side of being a creative. So that also taught me that
Yes,
you want to have more than one thing ready to go. So
that's right.
I have Haru, have another book coming in the pipeline. Just a little faster on the production, but you can't rush something. but I would like to have more in the pipeline so when I drop, I have a consistent release. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
You totally make sense, and that's another part of this podcast, man. For people that watch this show, a lot of people are currently writing something, or they're anticipating writing something. So I love going into the business side of the books and going to the roadblocks and obstacles to hopefully help somebody else in the future watching this
Yeah, for sure.
avoid this pitfall, avoid that roadblock. Well, I didn't know this about publishing and royalties and you said consignment. I didn't realize this when I do that.
Yeah, yeah,
This is very much an educational podcast, man.
yeah. That's fire. So if that can help somebody, then by all means. So, and then there's other things that, of course, that people can teach me, but it's nothing's going to be the perfect formula. So that's one thing people got to understand. Don't look for the perfect formula. You got to do what works for you, and I think that you learn that best through trial and error. So you take a little bit what I say, you take a little bit what you learn from yourself in real time, and if anything I say can help you, then yeah, by all means. But it's no perfect formula. The thing is trial and error, and going. You got to go through it to get to it.
That's right. That's right, man. That is so right. So, what is the most beautiful or surprising reaction you received from a child? What's something that a child or a parent told you about a really happy dragon that really surprised you and really took you back? Like,
Um, I think one of the best ones I heard was they read the book like 5 times back to back. You know what I mean? One lady texted me and was like, he reads the book every morning when he gets up. So it's little things like that, getting the pictures they send of of the children with the book. That makes it all worth it. So, that's always a rejuvenating thing because as a creative, sometimes again, you inhale, exhale, but you give so much of yourself when you create something. You know what I mean? Then you have to kind of you give it to the world. And if you take in too much of the world's criticism of your creation, that can affect you. So you have to be very, very, very sure and confident in your creations and knowing that you're putting out the best work that you can for that time. So that for me that became that perfectionist trap. Is this my best work? But you can't keep it for too long. You still gotta let it go. But it's like it's a fine line. You know what I mean? And I think that dance is what makes great art. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you just said something that I advise all my creative friends that have perfectionism. Like, man, let it go. It's like a jump shot. Let that thing go, man.
right,
It
right.
might
And
go
then
in.
follow
It
through
might
with
go
that,
to the
man.
left.
Follow through with that thing. Yeah.
It might go to the left. It might hit the back rim. But now I know how to adjust the next shot. But if I
Right.
just keep it and just keep pump faking, and
Yeah.
you get a violation. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
go. Let it ride.
Stop pump faking. Let
Let it
it go.
go.
That's right. Let it go. That's right.
Let it go, man. Yeah. And like you said, you gave your best effort. You did the dedication, the work, the study, and everything go behind it. Let it go, and whatever the criticism is, so be it. And I find Doc G, from my time being in the fitness world, when I had my old YouTube page posting my videos, the only person that would say something crazy on the video is the person that's not working out.
Mm.
Anybody else that actually does this workout thing, even if something isn't correct, they'll say it in a way like, man, next time put your hand like this instead of like that. Next time, move your elbow a little bit. They won't say something crazy on your video because they
Mm-hmm.
know how hard it is to even try. To even do it wrong, it take a lot of effort. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Only a person that's at their house with their little phone in their hand can say something crazy on what you're doing. And I realized that a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. So
So we
the
live in a
goal.
time right now where we speak a lot about the children with ADD and other kind of things going on, autism. A lot of things are happening right now with the baby's health. I love that you're depicting Heru meditating and the power of meditation and the power of going inside. Talk about the power of meditation in the story.
Yeah. So basically, Haru at that point was just faced with making a decision, and in that making that decision, he had to ponder and think about that decision and how that decision affects you know him going forward. And that's just like everything with anybody in real life. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have situations that happen, but you don't want to let your we say you don't want to let your emotions supersede your intelligence. So sometimes you want to take a step back. And again, taking a step back, how that looks for it looks for people, it looks different for different peoples. That could be taking a deep breath. For some, that could be what they call prayer. For others, that's what they call meditation. I'm saying, as my grandmother told me, it's more than one way to skin a cat. So no matter what you name it, it's you just getting by yourself and just taking some time. So in the story, Haru had to take some time, and then taking that time, he basically, was realigning himself, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for alignment. You know what I mean? So
I
yeah,
love one of your opening quotes, Doc. I love this quote. I want to know what this quote means to you, though.
okay,
It's better to be a warrior in the garden than to be a gardener in the war. This is the image. So tell
yeah.
me what does that phrase mean to you to be about being a warrior in the garden? What does that mean to you?
It means ain't it's nothing sweet. You gotta be ready. Like you, from any angle on the square, you're ready to go. Basically, you know what I'm saying. So you're just a well-rounded man, or whatever woman as well. Because a warrior is not a he she thing. It's an energy. So you don't want to have it to where somebody can just you want to be able to protect yourself at all times, basically. So that's what that means.
And, oddly enough, my next publication is called The Warrior Mindset. And it's not about literally fighting people and hurting anybody and violence, but the mindset, like you just saying, the mindset of being prepared, being ready to go, having the discipline and the study and everything go along with that mindset.
Hundred
That's what that's
percent,
about.
100%, 100%. So it just ties in, just shows you have your fruits and your vegetables, but you also have you know the jewels of the mind as well, and you're ready to go, and you're trained to go. You know what to do.
And so, also, besides the babies with the schools trying to repress knowledge, we know they have food deserts in all of these places. These food shortages, food deserts, and being here in the South, we definitely advocate for a person in your own yard, trying to start a garden, trying to grow what you can, have your own resources to feed yourself. Think about the importance of him being in the garden. And
Yeah,
more than
all
one time dealing with the food and dealing with your
yeah,
own
all those
vegetables
all
and
those
fruit.
things you just said. It's again just it's just trying. Somebody said if you really understand something, you'll make it to where a baby can understand. So not trying to overcomplicate certain things, just giving images again that will, hopefully spark ideas in the young minds. So that's why you see fruits, you see vegetables, you see certain fruits and vegetables. You know what I mean?
Hey, I noticed that. I noticed that.
So you know what I mean. So it's all type of little symbolism in there for those that's aware. That's why I said hopefully for young people looking and even what I mean, the parents who read it with them, they'll start to see certain things. They'll be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just
I was seeing
bring
I was seeing the
something.
avocado and what I said, okay, I see you, Doc. I see the
You,
avocado. I was
you see
seeing
what
that.
I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. It's all type of little things. It's all type of little jewels in there again, and hopefully the images grow with the young people as they grow. But again, that's my love letter to black children. My brother always says, man, you gotta make sure you keep it to where it's for everybody. But it is for everybody. But I had a target audience, if that makes sense, because I
Well,
understand how that same audience is constantly targeted in other ways, and it's
yes. And this is what I would say to that, doc. Like even me at my age, I love reading young adult novels. I love reading children books.
mm,
A lot of books that are very famous, they have a young adult adaptation of books like Just Mercy and Stand from the Beginning. And it's another, I can name books that's very known, popular, 400-page books, but they made the young adult version of it. I love reading those books. There's so much to
okay,
gain whenever it's distilled down like that. So it is
okay,
for everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's really what I'm looking to do, bro. More and more. And that's something that I learned from it's a quote I got from Emory Douglas. I think it's his name. Yeah, Emory Douglas, who was the artist for the Black Panthers. He said they started drawing pictures in the Black Panthers because they knew everybody didn't want to read. Everybody couldn't read. So the picture, what I mean, the picture became all the words that they needed. And that's what I say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. But he was saying it was even more so valuable because what I mean, some people just did not want to read or didn't take the time. So and as I being an educator and being around more and more youth, it's interesting how they're pulled away, what I mean, from books. And that's through technology design as well, not just because the system is not there, but they can find books, but if they find those books, but they're not holding the book, they're not touching the book, if that makes sense. It's another experience.
Okay, Don, let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm here in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing for a long time now, even before the pandemic, some of the worst literacy rates ever. Some of the worst test scores ever. Science, math, you name it. But you just said something I'm always talking about. My daughter just graduated, right? Like a month or two ago. My last daughter graduated a month or two ago.
Nice.
The whole time they in school, she barely ever had books to bring home.
Right.
Everything on the laptop, everything on the tablet, everything just you're not even turning pages. You're not even feeling what it's like to even interact and engage
That's
with
right.
a real good public. You can't put it down. You know that feeling that we got as young men. You read Malcolm X or whatever you read, and you can't put it down, and it's in your
That's right.
pocket when you're on the block talking with the
That's right.
homies. You go in the pocket, man. You read this yet?
That's
They
right.
can't experience that.
That's right. Yep. That's it. That's it. But see, so that's the thing that makes it tricky, right? So again, people, my partner was like, "Yo, you got to make sure you're selling the book, digitally, because that's what people's consuming stuff at." But it's almost like in the music world, people still make vinyls, so you still have the books, but then on a business side now, check this out. It's almost more profitable to go to digital version.
Doc, it is incredibly more profitable.
You see what I'm saying?
So in the
So
pandemic, I did 4 books in the pandemic. They were
yeah,
all digital only. But of course, for me as a producer of product, there is no physical product to deal with. And me
right.
going back and forth to the post office, shipping books getting lost in the mail. I gotta replace them. Things I can't control happening with product. I gotta. My face is on it. I gotta take care of that. But
Yeah,
in the digital, you want to just download it. I make a straight profit. It ain't on me.
yeah,
I ain't gotta go and buy 100 books and all that. I ain't gotta deal with
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
Even the audio books, I made the most money on my audio books. That's
Mm,
straight customer to customer direct sales. Ain't no Amazon, ain't no Audible, ain't nobody to deal with. We're doing direct sales. I probably made the most money doing it that way.
mm.
So that's
Okay.
real.
Yeah, yeah. So again, it's finding out what works for you. So it's been a journey, bro. It's been a journey. Um, I put a lot into the book financially and just, creative wise. Gave it my best shot, like I said, for the time. So I'm happy with it. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I
As
think
a
that, huh?
as a black father and a
Yep,
creator
yep,
that want to write children's stories, anybody out there watching this podcast,
yep.
what's some practical advice you would give them about starting the process? Looking back on it, what do you wish you knew before you started?
What I wish I knew before I started. Um, just go again. I take it back to self. Just don't try to be perfect. Just write your truth at the time. Go with it. I think it's more creation over consumption. I think, because there's so much information out there, you'll keep studying and studying. I should do it like this. I should do it. No, just do it. So that's my thing. You know what I mean? Creation over consumption. Like, don't overthink it. Have fun. Do your best in the moment, and then do the next shit. Wake up and do it again. And then guess what? Do it again. And what I've learned is that consistency that makes you successful. I think people do it so sporadically and think it's going to be a big hit, a big one-time hit. When it doesn't become that one-time hit, people get frustrated. But I think it's that what I found is that it's the consistency of doing it. You know what I mean? And then people kind of catch up and they kind of go back through your catalog. They kind of discover you. That you know what I mean?
Now,
They rediscover. Does that
you
make sense,
saying it,
bro?
you saying it so perfectly, bro. A
Okay.
lot of authors that's cracking right now, their recent book also really, really cracked, national awards and all that. But the back catalog is just as powerful. It just didn't get the push. It didn't get the funding. It didn't get the national media a part of it. But the
Mm-hmm.
writing or whatever the product is just as powerful. So all you gotta do, like I said, you keep putting the shots up. They're gonna recognize and look
Yeah.
at, look at the footage. They're gonna look back.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's the thing, and that becomes the thing, right? It's like people wonder how many does it take, you know what I mean, before you hit. But it's like that's what I'm saying. It is no magic number. It's just you doubling down on you. And if you really rock with you, then you're gonna do what it takes to. Yeah, it's gonna be some pause, gonna be some pauses, some ups and downs. But it's like,
Yeah. And you mentioned your children, right? I don't know your children's ages, but did you ever like show your children as you was making it, like to get their children's opinion of how they see
yeah,
it with their children mind versus your grown man mind?
yeah, 100%, 100%. I would show them sketches, ask for their input. So 100%. The book was inspired by them. It was they are the guiding force of the book. That's why, in the intro of the book, I say several children's names. You know what I'm saying? You read that intro on that first page. You know what I'm saying? Um, those are my children, my sister's children, my nieces, my nephews. And I just wanted them to know that somebody was thinking about them when something was created, so they understand the value of themselves. Because I tell you, it's a having little black girls wanting to be Barbie, and little black boys wanting to be Superman. It's a head trip, bro.
I
So
totally, as a father, I totally, absolutely, 1,000% agree. I agree. And I try to tell my other friends in my circle that maybe don't have children in their life directly the importance of keeping the youth. I mean, if your audience is the youth, it's important to keep the actual youth in the loop to bring you up to speed to the current day's lingo and the current day's what catches their attention, what wave they're on. You can be very detached from what you think in your mind versus what's actually applicable out there, right? So I keep people around me that's young and run my ideas by this so they can say, well, nah, say it like this. Or, man, we ain't saying that no more, man. Say this. Don't do it
yeah,
like that. They give me
no,
the
100%.
GPS to
Yeah, I think
correct my
I think
course.
that's a very wise principle to keep in mind. I think you always want to surround yourself with sharp young people. To keep one, they keep you plugged into, like you said, into the times. Two, you know what I mean. When you do it right, you can, but But see, you have to be the adult around them. You can't try to, you know what I mean, come out try to be what they call the YN and all that. You gotta be, you know what I mean, the one who has some type of direction, some type of you know what I mean, guiding principles, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah, in one of our books, I talk about the concept of being that chain in the middle and keeping somebody in your life 5 to 10 years older than you, like yourself, right? And having
mhm,
somebody in my life 5 to 10 years younger than me. I'm in the middle as that
right.
middle rank, and to keep on cycling the information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's important. That's big. And I think that when you have that in mind, and like you said, when you're making something for children, you definitely want to make sure that they're part of the creative process. So my children are always a part of my creative process. They're always they're one of the main inspirations of my creative process.
Yeah, we'll talk about critiques and everything earlier in the show, but like when I go to my job, I'm around a bunch of 20-year-olds basically. So whatever my newest project is, if I pass the book to one of them, and they say, "Oh yeah, man, I like this, Mr. Sean," I know I'm on to something. If I get their
Yeah,
cosign on what I'm doing, I know I'm on
yeah,
to something.
yeah, yeah. You always want to be current. You always want to be urgent. You always want to be, you know what I mean, as fresh as you can, as truthful as you can in the moment. I think that's what makes good art. That's what makes great art. And again, that's pretty much my focus. I want to do high level art for us, high level original art for us that grows in value.
Yes, they
So
said
for
that
me, go ahead.
children books are often the child's first mirror to themselves. Them children books, that's the first time they see in themselves, if you will, right? So tell us about what you hope the average child gain from this book. What do you want your child to walk away with when they read this story?
I want them to walk away with the idea of being their best selves against all odds. Not thinking that when it's good, it's just. But this it's a quote I read somewhere that when it's good, it's not over, and when it's over, it's just beginning. So that means that you have to continue to grow. I want them to understand that they have to continue to grow. They have to continue to, you know what I mean, trust themselves, have a love for themselves. You know what I mean? That,
Yes, sir.
and then you have it goes back into a principle of forgiveness. When the same people who might have been against you, now they all of a sudden they're like, oh, I didn't know you was okay, and you like, yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So all these principles are there. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
the
sir.
king and the queen, they basically represent quote unquote the system. So to be the at the top of the food chain in the system, and to then step away from that and to find some type of peace doing your own growth and development. So again, I want children to find a love for themselves when they walk away with the book, to know that royalty, and to know they can't be stopped no matter what.
Now, of course, I know how deep the well go when it comes to you, man. Do you plan on writing any like novels or nonfiction or other genres of writing outside of the children realm, or you want to stay with the babies?
I really want to stay with the babies right now, but I'm not closing the door on any opportunity. I really like the stories I'm developing lately, and I think that these IPs or intellectual properties, if I do them properly, can be very they have opportunity to do something, but it's just a matter of taking to another level. So it's just doubling down on my business side. So again, that goes back to marketing. That goes back to all
Yes,
those other.
sir.
Yeah. So it's just like
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't turn down if somebody said they want to do a Haru the Happy Dragon movie. Now, so I might license the rights to them. I'm not giving them the ownership forever. It's a licensing is what I'm looking for. Licensing deal. You know what I'm saying? I still have equity and ownership. So that's really what I'm about, having ownership of my IPs, intellectual properties, but and then doing good work, and then finding a niche market of people who love that work, and then growing with that market. So again, but like
And
I said,
speaking of
hmm?
speaking of marketing, where's the
Yeah,
best place for anybody watching this pod? They have babies in their life, maybe they're an educator, or they have a community of kids they want to just bless. Where could they find the best way to directly contact you to get the direct sales? Where do they find you?
yeah, they gotta go to haruthehappydragon.com. Go to that. It's the direct sale. You know what I mean? If you like the book, I appreciate it. You buy the book. It's all love. You know what I mean? I'm not really big on trying to sell people. Now, maybe that's my downfall. If you resonate with what I'm saying, I think you'll enjoy the book. I think your children will enjoy the book. I'm gonna my goal is to become a better salesperson. So I'm working on that part. You know what
And
I
you
mean?
got that, man. You
You know
got
what I
that,
mean?
doc. You
But
got that.
I
I got
want,
total faith and belief.
you know what I mean? But I want the babies to enjoy the book. I think it's a colorful book. It's got great colors. The That's a whole nother thing. The science of the colors that were chosen. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's different layers in the book, man. But and they're all good. That's the crazy part, right? So people don't understand that when you're watching cartoons, when you're looking at these books, people have all type of symbolism that has different effects on your subconscious. So I consciously made a book to have a positive effect on the subconscious of our youth. So I might be telling too much sauce, but that's really what it's about. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to keep doing and keep putting out. Whether it's in the music realm, whether it's in, you know what I mean, the art realm, and that's another reason why I started drawing. That's the one thing I can control. I can do that on my own. I can just draw. I got to wait for anybody else because
Now,
I know.
being a
Hmm?
long time martial artist myself, I got a question for you, doc.
Yes, sir.
I got a burning question.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed some of the imagery in this book whenever Heru is wrestling with all the time, right? But man, Heru looking like he might be doing some of that,
Look at him.
might be on some of that 52. Is that what I'm seeing right here?
100%. 100%. No, 100%. Yeah.
If I see my man coming to the,
Yeah. That's exactly right.
I know what
Exactly
time
right.
it is. I said,
Yeah.
oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. Exactly right. So again, those these are those images. If you know, you know. You won't. I'm not gonna say this is whoop de whoop, but I want that image to stand out in your mind. So
I know our fallen brother, Chadwick Boseman, um, Michael Jai White, there's a few other of our brothers that's in the major industry, and you see more and more in their films, they're showing you pieces of some of our arts and some of our things that those that know, as you said, those that know, they know.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
how do you feel about seeing that more on a broader screen?
I think it's beautiful. I think anytime that people are sharing information is just a great thing. You know what I mean? Whoever picks it up, then that's a jewel for them. So I think it's beautiful. I think that's what great art does. Great art, is littered with jewels. That's what makes it great. You know what I'm saying? Great art challenges your mind. Great art expands your mind. Great art, you know what I mean, makes you want to look at it, again. Great art makes you wanna create something. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's what I wanna do. I wanna inspire the youth to create their best lives, inspire them to create, you know what I mean, whatever it is that they want to do in a
Yes, sir.
positive light. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
For anybody watching this show at the tail end where we are now, you missed the beginning where we started off. But I want to reiterate and say it again on the record, man. The man you seeing on the screen talking for the past hour, man. He was such a beacon and a symbol for me as a young black man in my early 20s when I met the brother of knowledge, information, wisdom, and still being a brother in every sense of the word. And I would say that a person like you is why I went to college 3 times, and a person like you is why I
Mm,
wrote the 12 books, and a person like you is why I got the podcast and the public speaking and the radio and
mm,
whatever.
mm.
That all comes from a brother like you, man. I want to publicly say that. 'Cause
Nah,
more of us guys, we got to do that as us black men. Got to
I
express
appreciate you
ourselves.
saying that, but again, that's the person that you are. So people, that's why they say you meet people for a season or a reason. So hopefully, you know what I mean. I want to be somebody when people meet me. The reason is to help them find their best selves, not by always yapping. It's by doing like, okay, I was around this brother. That brother was on it. He was pushing himself to be his best. So I know I can't come around him half stepping because I want my circle to challenge me as well, and that's what we do ultimately. That's why they say steel sharpen steel. But again, it's crazy watching your growth, Dr. Polidor. You know what I mean? Am I saying your last name correctly? How I say your last name right?
Yeah, it's pull the door. Like pull the door is pull the
Polidor,
door. Yep.
Dr. Polidor. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and that's why we do this. That's what it's all about, bro. It's enough thugs, it's enough gangster. It's gangster to be a doctor with your PhD, with your paper. Yeah, that's gangster. It's gangster being real estate. It's gangster have ownership of your intellectual properties. That's what's really gangster if we really talking. So it's a misconception of, you know what I mean, where the value really lies. And I wanna shift that slightly if I can with my art. And I know it's a big task. I know, but again, so my goal is to become more prolific, to have more things out, to give more people more of a reason to support what I'm doing. So that's my job, to give the people more so they can say, okay, we like this, doc, or we don't like this, or oh yeah, and what they enjoy, they enjoy. And I'm gonna keep just putting out creative projects, bro.
Yes, sir, man. In closing, as I said earlier in the show, when it comes to that topic right there, man, just keep on letting that thing fly, man. Keep shooting that thing, brother.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Keep shooting that thing, man. So, before we get out of here, man, next week I had 2 shows. This week I had a show on Tuesday. I had a black-owned puzzle company, Unified Pieces, on the show. Another
Okay.
artist. And then today we have my man Dr. G. Next week we have the book called Pros to the People, celebrating black bookstores all around the nation. It'll be a phenomenal show next week.
Let's see,
And then I
stop right
have my
there.
sister.
Let's see. I need that plug right there. I need a plug to black bookstores all around the nation to get
That,
Haru in. You see what I'm
that,
saying?
that
Now
book
we
is it.
talk. Now we talking some. That's gangster.
That book
You
is
see what I'm
it.
saying? So
And
I would love to
whenever we
do a
leave, I'm gonna
book
put you onto
tour.
it, Doc. Whenever we conclude, I'm gonna put you onto it.
Okay. I would
And
love
then
to do a book
next
tour
week,
with them. I would love to do a lot of things, bro. So yeah, that's where it's
yeah,
at.
yeah. And then next week, following that podcast, the very next day, I have the book Black Panther Women, about the Black Panther sister Erica Huggins. We know about Asada Shakur. We know about Angela Davis. We know
Mm.
about some of the other phenomenal women in the movie. Afina Shakur. This is about Erica Huggins and her story. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story, man. So 2 shows, back-to-back days. Check me out next time on the Sean P. Experience. Peace.
All right, peace.